Today we are learning how to round decimals. Please copy the standard benchmark indicator on a clean page in your math notebook. The student will round decimals to the nearest tenth, hundredth, or thousandths. Rounding decimals. You can round numbers to estimate answers. To round a number, look at the digit to the right of the place you want to round to. If the digit is 5 or greater, round up. If it is less than 5, round down. Example 1. Round 34 and 592 10,000ths to the nearest hundredth. Step 1. Find the place value. So the 5 is in the hundredths place. Step 2. Look at the digit to the right. The digit is 9. Step 3. If this digit is 5 or greater, round up. If it's less than 5, round down. So 9 is greater than 5, so we're going to round the 5 up. Then we're going to drop off the digits to the right of the 5. So the rounded number becomes 34 and 600ths. So 34 and 592 10,000ths rounds to 34 and 600ths when rounding to the nearest hundredth. What is the length of the eraser to the nearest centimeter and the nearest tenth of a centimeter? The end of the eraser is between the 5 and 5/10 mark and the 6-inch mark. Use 5 and 7/10 as an estimate. So, to the nearest centimeter, the eraser is going to round up to 6 centimeters because it's past the 5.5 mark. And to the nearest tenth of a centimeter, it's going to be 5 and 7/10 centimeters. Try it. Round 241 thousandths to the nearest tenth. The tenth digit is the 2. Underline it. The digit to the right of the tenth digit is 4. Is that digit 5 or greater? No, because we know 4 is less than 5. And then for D, we're going to write the rounded number and drop any digit to the right of the tenths. So it becomes 0 and 2/10. For E and F, we're going to continue doing the same thing. We're going to round to the given place. So for E, we have 4 and 652 thousandths. We're rounding to the tenths. So the first thing we're going to do is underline the 6 because it's in the tenth spot. Next, we're going to look to the right of the 6 where there's a 5, which tells us we're going to round the 6 up to a 7. So it's going to round to 4 and 7/10. And because we're rounding, we just drop the 5 and the 2 off because they're to the right of the place value we're rounding to. For F, we have 19 and 304 thousandths, and we're rounding to the hundredth spot. So we're going to underline the digit in the hundredth spot, which in this case is a 0. Then we look to the right of the hundredth spot, and there's a 4, which we know is not greater than 5, so it's not going to round up. So that's just going to drop off. So we have 19 and 30 hundredths. Now, because there's a 0 at the end of that, it's not holding any place value at this point, so we're going to get rid of it. So this is really going to round to 9 and 3/10 because that's equivalent to 9 and 30 hundredths. All right, for the second half of the try it here, we're going to estimate the length of the paper clip to the nearest centimeter and to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So if you look, they've helpfully drawn us little dotted lines to line it up on the ruler below. And we can see it's almost to 5 centimeters. So if we're going to estimate to the nearest centimeter, it's about 5 centimeters. And make sure when you're working with units of any kind that you always put them in the answer. Then for H, the nearest tenth of a centimeter, if we look at the little dotted line, it comes down to 1 mark before the 5. So we know it's 4 and 9/10 centimeters. And again, make sure you've remembered to include the units on the end of your answer. Please glue this page in the next available space in your math notebook.